Señor. All right, Harold. So, as you know, he already owns a similar pump, but we'll just go over it quickly. And as you noticed, there were some things that maybe he needs some refreshing. So,
okay, so you got the same engine. You got your fuel, your oil, and there's an air filter on the other side. Every 250 engine hours.
250?
50 engine hours. Right now. You're going to service. You're going to service these two filters, the air, the hydraulic.
Every 250.
Every 250, right. And you're using an AW46.
AW46 for hydraulic engine.
For hydraulic, right. And then you're going to use an
It's here. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Synthetic.
10W30. 10W30 full synthetic.
Yeah. It's an AFI for heavy duty diesel. Yeah. You put car oil in there and it'll break it down twice as fast. Right. Then you got simple gauge for fuel, and then the tank's at a V, so everything's gonna run to the petcock. The same in hydraulic tank. Everything's gonna run to the petcock. Here with the yellow handle,
You open it up a bit.
you just got to plug in the end. You unscrew the plug. Just like the cap hole, like a drinking bottle cap hole. Once a week.
Once a week?
Once a week. And same with fuel, because it's gonna get hot, cold, hot, cold. The system's closed loop. You can't get water in it, other than somebody pouring water down the tank, or you leaving water in the water box. And the rods get hot, expand, and then shrink up, and they'll suck in water. And the first time you start it, it returns it back to tank. So that's the reason why you always leave water under the rod. I always tell guys at the end of the job, you dump the water, leave it dry. No sense putting water in, and you're just asking for problems. Close it, fill it up in the morning, you start pumping. At the end of the night, pump it loose. I stroke it once. I look at the bolts, make sure they're tight. I run the other way, look at make sure the bolts are tight. I've washed it out. I'm done. Put the lid on it. I just leave it open. Yeah. With the new packing, I'll show you one. The new style.
As is.
With plastic. They're knee frames. That's it. They get hot, they expand. You get cold, they contract. Well, water's going to get in between there when it contracts. It's going to suck it in like a straw.
Eso es todo lo que protege el agua de que se entre al cilindro hidráulico.
No, porque si yo entro de aquí, no es más serio.
Exactamente. Por eso siempre lo ponen. Mira que yo lo dejé nada más hasta ahí, cuando le eché el agua, por debajo del cilindro.
O sea, siempre se debe dejar debajo de aquí.
Eso es recomendado. Ahora nosotros nos estamos yendo a lo que enseña la fábrica, pero mucha gente lo hace y lo llena hasta arriba, así, ¿no?
Lo lleno hasta aquí.
Sí, no, pero no hay necesidad porque le está echando agua dentro del cilindro. He say for 4 years they never clean the hydraulic tank or the hydraulic oil.
Yeah, I never the gas tank, I never did it. I never dumped it.
Yeah, I'd get in there and take the oil out. I'd get in there, clean it out real good, vacuum it out, brake clean, vacuum it out again, fill it back up.
That's what we did on this one. Did you see how clean that oil is?
Yeah, I mean, every year, they call it partial migration. I mean, every year you're going to get a buildup. When that main drive sucks it up,
it's done.
Half a second. There's $8,000.
Yep.
Boom.
$8,000. That's what's.
Good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's what is there? I don't know if in your same company, but when I had my own, I put 10% of the ticket back every job, and then that accumulate all year long for the pump. If something happened, I had the money, $6-7 grand. Well, if I didn't spend the money that year, boom, it went in my pocket.
Yeah, no.
I took my old lady to England.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, just for you, 5 minutes extra work that day, pays off. Versus just let it ride until it blows up. Hell, you ain't really making too much money there,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just I want to know about this. Which one is the the side?
Okay,
which
so
hand is it for the side when you started?
So we'll bleed into that. So since you have the engine, it's a straight shaft, runs all the way through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you run the machine at half speed and crank the volume control up, you're only cooling the engine half the cooling capability, because that shaft runs all the way through. This first pump cleans and cools. The second one is for your agitator and outrigger. So all that pump is pulls it out, cleans it, puts it in the cooler, back to tank at 36 liters a minute.
36 liters a minute.
36 liters a minute, all day long. That's all it's doing, it's cleaning. So if you run the machine at half the RPMs, you know, because you don't like the engine, and you turn the volume control, so you like the speed. The machine's only cooling or cleaning half the speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you must run the machine at 2100 RPM all the time.
21.
Full out. I don't know if you do that on your.
No, no.
How do you run it?
You know, I did 220, the 2000 RPM.
Okay. Okay.
It depends how many feet of hose, you know, I can use when I pump it.
So if you're doing 100 feet of hose, how many do you use?
Like it depends, you know, it depends on the people, you know, sometimes they want to go slow, you know, so I try
So
to,
you lower the RPMs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna kill your pump.
I drove for 4 years. I know how to.
Hey, it'll happen. Trust me.
You just haven't run in that perfect storm yet. You know, you get a little dry slump. You know, you got 100 foot, and you're trying to muscle through it, and the machine overheats. So by the time you know it, it'll burn the pump out.
Yeah.
You just haven't run through the perfect storm.
True.
So, but if you do it this way, there's no perfect storm.
Yeah.
It's always cleaning and cooling itself.
It doesn't matter if you have 25 feet of hose. Always run it full throttle.
Yeah, full throttle, and you use the volume control. Slow it down.
Yes, I want to know when we
Yeah.
started, you know, I want to hear the machine how it's can pump.
Now, your 450 has the same volume control, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
the same.
All right. So, running on that, you had your agitator.
Okay.
So the agitator right now is normally on. Right now it's on. You see it. Forward. Run the other way. To use the outriggers, you must have it neutral because it's running off the same pump. So if you're trying to run the agitator and the outriggers, it's not enough energy. The second one's down.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then you can run the agitator. Once established, you're on the ground. You don't have to pick it all the way up, just get the bubble out of the tire. That's it. Because the more weight you put on it, the more it's going to put on your truck. It's going to bury your truck now, you know, when you go bring your truck. Now, if you got the lift jack down, then yeah, you can lift all the way up. No problem. You don't have to, but you can. If you wanted to change a tire or whatever. Sure. I mean, it's got enough. I said at 200 bars, you got enough energy to. So lift it off the ground. So it's up to you. Yeah. So you got your hopper grate and the mechanism. When you lift up the grate, kills the motor. You're done. So if you back it up and you have a stiff slump, and it's backing up and the grate lifts up and the machine shuts off, you know you're going to hit her and push down the grate. I know a lot of guys take them off eventually. Well, I mean, that's up to you. But when I started with Schwing, we had 5 stickers.
Yeah, well, the machine is not working. You know, that thing they cut it off.
Well, I mean, ultimately it's up to you. I mean, you know, Dan Newland get a hold of you, it'll be a different story.
Dan Newland is an attorney.
So when I started with Schwing, we had 5 stickers. When I left, there were 58. Every sticker that you've seen happened, ended in a fatality, of course. So this guy here, he didn't die from the machine. He died from the ambulance breakdown. Cut 3 of his fingers off. He bled to death in the ambulance. So, just that simple. So keep the cards on there for people. You know? They say never stick your hand in the moving pistons at all. Turn the machine off, do your work, turn the machine back on. Make sure that the gauges are verified to 0. That is stored energy. And then the same with the rock valve. Never stick it in past here. Plus the wetland. Mirror housing. Yeah. And the same with the hopper. Anytime you stick your hands in there, you got to get a piece of concrete, goes down there, boom, that's what the E-stop for. The E-stop lets the machine shut off, reach in there. You'll be lucky. You'll be lucky.
Hey, how about, you know, if you start to pump, all right? Can I lift or open the you know, this thing?
Excuse
I
me?
can open up when I pump it. You know, I can open up the thing in the hopper.
No.
It's not a problem. Oh, it's,
No. No, you cannot lift the grate up when it's pumping. You don't.
When it's
you
pumping, no.
You shut the machine off. Correct. So, and the same with, and you notice the solenoid's always clicking.
Yeah.
You hear it clicking?
Yeah.
Hear it click? That's the solenoid releasing. So when you start in the morning, oh, I don't hear a click. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Hopper's up, or one of the E-stops is pressed. There's 3 E-stops. 1, 2, and on the far side,
Oh, it
3.
can be the hopper too? It can be
Yeah.
the hopper?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct. So when you hear the click, you know
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you hear the click and it still don't start, then you got a fuel problem. Either you got water in the fuel or you don't have any fuel.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. There was a memo brought out from Deutsch, and this will happen. From it sucking cold water up, because the injectors are hot, sticking down, it'll actually blow the heads of the injectors off. It'll blow them off and go down the cylinder, and boy, you're talking about a good time now. Then you got to wet sleeve it, and hell, you might as well buy a new motor, you know, for $8 grand. They're going to charge you $6 grand to do an in-frame rebuild. You might as well
$8 grand.
everything starts out. If you don't prepare yourself, I mean, everything gets expensive quick. If you don't grease the machine, and well, you know the 450,
Yeah.
grease is your friend. Same effect.
Every day.
Every day, yeah. Well, every 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know, it's just you replace them. So bearings, it follows an order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If 3 is cut out of, it can no longer go to 4. It's a progressive system; it stops. So that's what you're doing with that quarter turn valve. When you hold it out, you're cutting the switchover signal out. So 3 is cut out. It doesn't know what to do. It holds pressure.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
figure it out.
The machine that
Right. So NG6, and then you got S1 and S2. S1 being your 4
Which one?
reverse.
This one?
S1 and S2, they're in segments.
Okay.
And there's an S3 in there, but not a consideration. S2 handles switchover, so it knows what to do next. So 1, 2, 3, 4 goes to S2, switchover, boom, back to 1, switches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So if it's short stroking, one of 2 or 3 is out of whack when you figure out what's going on. Usually it's in the NG6 valves, usually, or it could be in the forward down center.
Okay.
Switch over, and those add and take away oil. It's a closed loop design. It shouldn't, but it does slip off and add to it as it needs it. Yeah. A consideration: if you're pumping something loose, water all the time, it would always be taking away oil because it's loose and switch it back and forth. If you're pumping something dry, it's always adding oil to it. Not a lot, a little bit. Cap full here, droplet there, but it's adding and taking away. And those are important. If something gets stuck, it'll add too much oil and you'll get a hydraulic lock. Boom. It'll sound like it's going all the way to the back, but it's not. Your piston's stopping somewhere up here. It's switching over. You got a valve stuck. Yeah. You got your fuel cap. It's got a little gauge on it. Tells you empty and full. It's just a little mechanical gauge. That's it.
Why are you keeping it too low? You gotta fill it out.
That's for upper management. That's up for me.
Yeah, you gotta talk to upper management.
So on your pigtail and your cutaway for your braking, yeah, 7-pull harness. You got your safety chains, and you got a military hook, piggle hook.
Military hook.
You got one on your truck?
No, we got the other ones different.
The ball?
Yeah, with the ball.
Oh, they sell those next door. So.
No, but we got it.
Oh, you got it. You brought it with us. But
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
we got it.
Yeah, because we told Juan Pablo to let
Yeah,
you know.
no.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Your air filter's in here?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And
Let's test it out.
so you got new trailer brakes, and so after 100 miles, you're going to have to recheck the lug nuts.
100.
100.
Every 100 miles, yes.
Okay.
And then after that, it'd be every 500 miles.
Every 500.
Yeah, grease. Lug nuts just when you change tire.
Okay.
Porque como se aflojaron las llantas, tocó sacarle, poner los rines nuevos y todo. Entonces hay
So
que estar
el
revisando.
axle es nuevo.
But not a lot of
No,
grease.
le dije no.
Just-
Todos los bearings son nuevos.
Just
Y los
like you put the
frenos
bearing here,
también.
2 pumps.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to fill the damn thing up.
Yeah. Yeah, I used it without changing.
I'm gonna get you some oil and some grease, and I want you to try it. It's a little expensive, but it's made for. But every time you have me go in there, it's $5 for $1,000. It's expensive.
So recommended to buy.
Yes,
the-
100%.
I would, yeah.
We always use it.
And this is that exceeds the manufacturer. I've never had a problem. If you grease it every 50 yards, and at the end of the day, you won't have a problem. You'll burn the cutting ring out before you have to replace
I
it.
used to, with the machine, every day. Sometimes, when I got two jobs, sometimes when I finish my first job, so I
Yeah.
clean it up and I put a grease.
You should, right? Because you're pushing the grout back into the hot
Yeah,
rod.
because the ground's inside.
Correct. You're pushing it out. Yeah, you don't want to wait till you get home, the grout get hard. You don't want to go to your next job, the grout's hard. Push it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we'll do a pressure test real quick and let you see
Sure.
that, and then we'll start pumping with it.
Mira, él va a hacer lo del pump. Ajá.
Yo quiero escuchar a ver cómo escucha.
That's it. That's it. Tremendamente. Ahora vamos a bombear. Cuidado, se mojan. Vamos a empujar toda esa presión en un huequito así de pequeñito que tiene ese coso. ¡Woo! Cuidado, y en mucha presión. Yeah, you will never pump us. It's too hard. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
When you make a pump climb a mountain like this, nobody can complain that this thing doesn't run right.
Perfect. ¿Qué le va a subir más presión? ¿Ah?
Bájale, bájale.
Ah.
Like, the pump don't go too fast. So the pump has to go like,
Real slow. So you.
slow.
You
Oh,
screw
he
that-
wants to slow it down. Okay. I see what he's saying.
So, they need to go like slow, because when you go too much pressure, the conch is already, too much.
Yeah. You wanna handle it from here?
Yeah,
Sure.
just I
So
want
look
it, I
at
want
it.
it, yeah.
That's what he wants. Más rápido, más lento, más lento. Sí, para atrás, así ya lento, ¿eh? Exacto. ¿Lo ves?
Sale la presión, ahí.
Ajá. Yeah. Seems like he jumps it. You see it? Hold on 1 second.
I mean, a little bit of sand and a little bit of water, and watch out. You're in good for a good time,
Yep.
You look at Colorado, and the Grand Canyon. I mean, that's all cut from water and sand, you know. It's surprising what a little bit of water can do.
Yep.
So
okay.
So then we're working into your bearings. Got your grease points on the far side, and then in the back they're consolidated. See that on the far side? So you got one. Well, of course you got your for your trailer axle, right? 1, 2, 3, and then the consolidation on the shift over and on the outlet bearing or the inlet bearing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Fill cap, they're vented, so you got to be careful. You can't just be pouring pressure washer straight up the turnpike there and blow you out. You got your oil cooler.
That's a brand new one.
Brand new one?
Brand new one. Look at it. It's got stickers still.
It's not look like
It doesn't look like it? Oh my goodness. It doesn't look like it.
Brand new. In fact, here's your old
Let's
one.
show him the old one. There you go. That's your old one. I put that one back if you want.
No. That's fine.
That's the one that he used to
That's
have.
fine, I don't like, 100%, but it's fine. You can leave it.
Yeah.
You see how thin the current production is, and then that's the old production.
Yeah.
How wide they are. So
Mhm.
it's stuck out a lot farther.
Yeah, this is
What about this one? Is a new one or no?
Your suction hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sucking. That's it. No pressure on that one. Just sucking.
there's no pressure on that.
Okay.
Yeah, only 150 psi.
150.
Mm-hmm.
Battery, starter, and then you got your fuse, your main cutoff fuse. So if you call me and say, hey, I don't have no panel on the board,
We got fuse right here.
there's a linkable fuse inside. Correct. Inside.
Oh, inside. They're
Yeah.
inside. Okay.
So if you call me, hey, I have no power,
Yeah, no problem.
then
Yeah,
then
so-
we're gonna work from here, and then we're gonna go to your main box.
Sometimes it happens with the 450. I know that something happened when I don't have no power over there. I check it out.
Correct.
Right away the
And then
electricity. The power.
F1 through 4 is bringing power on.
You know which fuse is for what?
F1's for your main power,
Main
2 is for
power.
the agitator,
Agitator.
3 is for your vibrator, and 4 would be for the main board.
So ya quedó acá.
For your e-stops.
Okay. I got it.
So working on the board, you've got local, which the box is working in a forward gear, neutral, reverse. So you could have it on and be in neutral and it won't pump. You put it in forward, it'll start pumping. You can turn it off. That switch is just working this coil. That's all it's doing. So in theory, if you push that top of that coil down, you can make it pump manually. There's
There's a
EA
little
in the
button
center.
in there. Yeah.
Is that little
Hay
button?
un botoncito ahí adentro. Métele deberes.
Feel it down in there? You take a 16-pin nail there and you push it in.
And you can pump with that.
Yeah, manually. You do that. You hold it. You'd have to hold it though.
Have to hold
So
it
if you
up?
lost all power, the alternator went bad, manually, you can push it and pump that truck off.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the battery goes all the way dead, of course, it's going to release the fuel solenoid. It's going to shut you off.
Yeah.
But if you had low power, battery's almost dying, that at least gets you cleaned out. So and then you got local, which box works, off, and then you got remote.
Oh, remote is all the way to the bottom?
All the way from the bottom. Stick away from the circle.
Okay.
Means you're got your fan on, off, your air meter so you can count. E-stop. You know what F1?
I can't remember.
Th-
What is
th-
this one?
This is your safety cutoff for your remote system. That remote required a relay, so we had to hook it up on a switch. So that would be your master cutoff for the remote.
For the remote.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for the remote, and this one all the way to the bottom.
And that
Just
controls
the
the remote. That
control.
lets the remote work with the machine then.
Okay.
And then that's your master cutoff.
All right.
That remote was, he's got the paperwork for it. It's actually,
Yeah, it's right here on the
it
forklift.
ain't really designed for it's designed for a lot of stuff. You could operate a crane, you could operate a pump, you could operate a boom truck, you could operate a lot of stuff. It's kind of like a multi-purpose. So you didn't really have a set.
So there's a new one and a used one in here. The one that you want to use and kill it is this one, and then this is the brand new one. Keep it in your truck or whatever. Use the paperwork on the remote.
So you got your RPM gauge, yeah, and then you got your dummy lights.
Shows you
Is
fuel,
battery,
battery,
and
engine, oil pressure.
oil pressure.
Yeah,
and the
low oil
battery.
pressure, correct.
Low oil
Low
pressure,
pressure.
exactly.
Yeah, the dummy plug must be in for it to start. This is if you want to hook a manual cord up to it.
Got a remote control, a cable remote control.
Sí,
Yeah.
conectar y controlar.
It's
So you got your main pressure on your pump, and that's on the head of the piston only, not what's going down 50 feet, 100 feet, 300 feet. Just what's coming off the end of that piston when it's pushing. Yeah.
How much pressure they put?
And then you got your accumulator, stored power, stored energy for the rock valve.
Right.
Right. So you got a diaphragm accumulator bottle that's 100 bar of inert gas, nitrogen, and then that little pump makes up the other 100. Together they make 200. And it's stored energy. And there's a multi MPS valve that crude form of it that allows the switch over. If it only needs 80 bar to switch over, that's all it does. 80 bar. If it needs 200, it uses 200. Yeah. Without that being on zero, don't stick your hand near the machine. It must bleed off to zero because it could potentially get a signal and shift over while your hand's in there. You know, so every time you turn the machine off, it's got an automatic dump system. It'll dump it off. Should. If it isn't, it's defective, then you need to bleed off manually. But you will never see that. I mean, if the pump, I don't know, was going bad or something, it might slough off some brass and get stuck in the orifice. It could happen. I've seen it, but very. I mean, out of 1,000,000 times, maybe only 100 times it would happen. Very rarely you get stuck. But you just verify that it is zero. Okay, I'm good to go. Before you bust a clamp off, make sure they're all, they're at zero. The concrete pump accumulator doesn't affect you when you're busting a hose on. That's just on the switch over on these cylinders. That's all that's for. Now, if the gas gets low, say it's down to 40 bar now instead of 100. Well, the pump has got to make the difference up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the pump's not really, it's a gear-driven pump. It's not really designed to make up the difference. It can, it will for a while, but not for a long time. You'll end up burning the pump up. So you always make sure that there is, the specs call for 100 to 70. And turn off. See where bleeding snapped off?
Yeah.
Boom, that's what your pre-tension pressure is.
So
you can check.
that's the normal?
That's normal.
That's
Yeah,
normal.
your specs is from 90 to 70.
90%.
Yeah. Anything lower than that, you need to think about getting charged. If it gets down to around 50, you need to get a charge. You get around 30, well, you're in trouble. You need to figure out what's going bad.
Yeah.
Usually you can hear the bag going, if the bag blows up, you put the gas in, and 2 weeks later, it's low again. Well, I got a bad bag.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Take the bag out. It's just like a tire. Like
So
a
check
tire
that something happened
with the bag.
with
Correct.
the
Inside.
bottle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In here. Bottles here.
Yeah.
So that bleeds into the next answer. It's a twin circuit design. So there's two systems running independently from each other, but they work together. So you got the main drive pump running the pistons,
Yeah.
and then you got accumulator pump running the switchover. Right? So that makes it a twin circuit. A single circuit, it wouldn't have that. Well, it'd have that pump, but the main drive pump would be running
everything.
everything. So that's the difference between a single and a dual. You can still get a boom truck in a single and dual.
Oh, really?
They shift hard as hell, but you can't get them. A lot of people swear they don't like accumulator systems. They think it's too much trouble. It's a great system when they're running right, but you got to keep your oil clean. You got to maintain it. Every 250 hours you got to change your filter. If you let dirty oil, oh boy, $3,000 filter. Pump every time. Boom, 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 boom. So keep that in mind. Hydraulic fluid's like your blood. You got to keep it clean.
You say every 250 hours.
250, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to change the hydraulic oil every 250 hours. You just have to change the filter. You have to change the engine oil. You have to change your air filter, your fuel filter. But the oil itself, you don't need to change it every 250 because it's supposed to last a lot longer than that. Yeah. And it cleans itself as it's pumping because that's why it has that big old filter there. That's what it's supposed to do. It's basically cleaning itself up.
Yeah. So if you have a leak, you need to take care of the leak because bulk oil, even when we get it, we filter it from the tank to the machine. Bulk oil is dirty by nature. Every time you add oil, you're adding dirt. You open up the cap, dirt falls in. You fill, dirt falls in. It's falling in all the time you open that cap, you know what I mean? So if you get a leak, the major thing is to fix it. You don't want to keep adding oil every day because then you're adding dirt. Because it's always a closed system. It's always filtering, always filtering. And that's the reason why the filter at 250 hours. Change it, that way you get a good filter in there, it's always cleaning. You let an old filter in there, you know, it ain't doing nothing. You just, if water comes in, the water's come right back out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It'll hold some water, but not a lot.
Every 250.
Yes,
So
sir.
that machine what I drove, you know, for 4 years, you know, maybe I just change it like maybe 2 times and maybe I don't know.
The downfall of a concrete pump, this is how it usually happens.
And I use it every day, you know. I pump like sometimes I use I make 2 jobs every day sometimes.
And you will, but when you got a main pump that went bad, okay, say year 5 the main pump goes bad. Well, the main pump went bad, so they replaced that. Then the accumulator pump went bad because the main pump took that accumulator pump out. They didn't know it. It kind of cascades. You know what I mean? It rolls into
It really gets expensive.
It really
Yeah.
gets expensive, right?
I mean,
It hits you all at once, and you don't want that. You little problem. You know, the pump go bad
I know now. I know I use
because you got a stake in it. Correct.
Exactly.
Right. Now this is mainly for me, but you do have a quarter turn valve here that pressures the system out.
Sorry.
That's usually for a mechanic to see how much main pressure. So I'm gonna my pump won't pump. It don't seem like I have enough pressure. Well, okay, let's stop what you're doing. Put it in a forward. Turn your locking cock in. Full RPMs, full volume, and turn it on, and let's see where your pressure's at. Well, it reads 250. Okay, you got main pressure then. Then we work back from that system. It's a split in the system where we can work
we
either
started
forward.
looking with the example.
Yeah.
With the,
Sure.
because I remember I do with the old machine over there, so that happened when you said when you close the thing, you know, it works.
Yeah, it interrupts the signal and it allows the pump to go to max without switching over.
But it's good to know, you know, see how pressure you can have. You can hear the noise, you know,
Correct.
when you close the.
Oh yeah. You know, if you call me and you know somebody plays a joke on you and turns it up, hey, it only goes one time and it stops. I go reverse and one time it stops. Well, you know, it's your quarter turn valve. Or you know, it could be a couple other things, but usually somebody played a joke on you.
Well, sometimes the concrete too, you know. I have a problem, you know, before, you know, when the concrete is too dry, you know, if you got like 250 foot of houses, you know, the concrete is too dry, it can pump. Sometimes it's like one pump, and then you gotta go back again and pump just one pump. And
because you pressured out, right? There's at some point the pump's only gonna meet that pressure, and that's all you can do, right? If you meet that pressure, you didn't plug up. You can't push any further. It's too dry. Correct. That does happen. It does.
We hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. To continue seeing more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Also, you can just go right here on this link to our website, liveequipment.com, for a complete list of equipment available for sale. Or just keep navigating to our channel. Have a great day.